Keeping up on another interesting segment on understanding the Gen Z. Welcome today. Today we will be talking about the stereotypes of older generations about the Gen Zs. So with me, we have our wonderful guest in the house. Today is going to be a very interesting one. Please stay glued to the screen.
My name is Reverend Victoria Ono, and I'm an architect by profession, and I'm a carer. I do take care of older persons, and I'm a minister for young people.
Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate it. Nice to have you on the show, Ma.
Thank you.
Please, Ma, can you share your perspective about the Gen Z? What is your perspective about Gen Zs?
I've been fortunate to have contact with some Gen Zs that were rightly exposed. But I would like to say that generally, most Gen Zs I've come into contact with in the workspace are usually not able to do teamwork.
Okay.
And they are not able to communicate. But they do know a lot about digital space. They do know a lot about multitasking. But when it comes to socializing, that's a big problem.
Okay.
A beautiful set of people like I am. And like our guest has said, well, let's say for me, I want to talk from my own perspective, is that we mix. You know, we can have an older generation and you can just be like the only Gen Z there. I mean, so I feel we have these adaptability skills actually, because when they feel, okay, we've been doing this for 20 years and you that just came last year, how sure are you that you can be able to keep up and meet up? But to their surprise, we do excellently well because we're able to adapt, we're able to learn and relearn and unlearn. So that's this in my own space. So but just beautiful sets of generations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Pelumi, what would you have to say about that?
We are audacious, and that's something that I've always said. We are the audacious generation. We dare to do things. We dare to dream. We dare to do things that our parents did not do. We dare to talk the way they didn't talk. We dare to change status quo. We are not a generation that follows a sequence. We are not, we do things the way we want to do it, and that's something I think is the most beautiful thing about the generation. And I love to be, I'm glad I'm part of the generation rather.
Okay, thank you so much. So moving forward, there is a stereotype that Gen Zs are too forward. I don't know if that's the right word, but to the Gen Zs, that seems authenticity. They feel like we are authentic, so we always want to, we have every access to communicate. But over to you, what do you think about that stereotype? Gen Zs are too forward.
Yes, I think they are too forward actually, but you can express yourself without being rude.
Okay. Because
most Gen Zs don't have communication skill, person-to-person communication skill. Remember that they spend more time texting and on their phone. Yes. So when it comes to being emotionally adaptable, that's a problem. Okay. So in communicating, they find it difficult to communicate, and most of the time they don't come out with that respect.
With the right approach. With
the right approach, yeah. The kind of, you know, how to enter a subject without rubbing the other person roughly.
Okay.
So I think that's a major problem, and it has to do with their lifestyle.
Okay. That's beautiful. Thank you, Ma. Like, what would you say about it? Are they being too forward, or that's just the authenticity about them?
Okay, well, like our guest has said, she's not totally wrong, and she's not totally right too. But I'll say from my own perspective, like I've said before, I grew up with elderly people, old people. So, I mean, I've learned how to be respectful. I've seen my peers, you know, how they are all disrespectful and all. And you know, it has to do with their environment and how they're able to. You don't want to learn from what they've learned from. Are you learning from what they've taught you, or you just want to do things your way? So I feel if you're a Gen Z, you should also be respectful. I mean, it makes you all-rounder, and people always want to say, okay, what is peculiar about you that, you know, you're not behaving like other people. We're too forward because we want to learn more. We want to see that, why is this thing like this? What is this? We want to be innovative, we want to be creative, we want to be all-rounder, because I feel growing up, for me, I learned a lot of things on the sport because I was hungry for knowledge. I was hungry for putting myself out there. So I would say we're too forward in learning more and for knowledge. But when it comes to behavioral patterns, yeah, there are some Gen Zs that actually overdo it and overstep. But
Okay.
there's still room for improvement. So.
Okay, thank you. Pelumi, do you find Gen Z worthy or qualified for any leadership role?
Absolutely, we have leadership skills. I would just say, there's something I'd like to correct. Gen Zs are, yes, we have problem with communication, but I would say moving forward, it is better we do not generalize, because there are still some Gen Zs that do not that they are still very respectful, and they actually have good communication skills. They don't come across as being rude. They can pass across a message without appearing rude. So just to answer your question as well, we have leadership skills. Like I said about generalization, there are a lot of Gen Zs that they have been born with leadership skills. There are people who also, they don't aside from being born, they have, you know, learned how to be leaders. So we have leadership skills. We know how to communicate. We know how to listen, because what is a leader without being able to listen to your audience or to the people you're leading? So, you know, we have communicative skills. It's just so unfortunate that we've not really been given that opportunity. Because if you look at even the country we are now, there are lots of Gen Zs that they can do a much better job, and I say that.
So what would you have to say?
Yes, I would like to respond to that. You know, when you say you have not been given responsibility, you need to take it by force. Nobody's going to give you leadership. You take it.
Okay.
And most of the time, accountability is very, very important.
Yes.
So you find out that the younger people lack in accountability. They want to do things at their own time. Yes, they will do it.
Yes.
But at their own time. And you know, there are certain things about society that must have a format. It has its systems, and you must follow them. Okay. All right. So you can't just wake up because you're a Gen Z and you decide that I'm not going to go to the university because what I want to do does not really need university knowledge. But you find out that, you know, the system demands it. So that's a typical example of what I'm talking about. So nobody's going to hand you down leadership. I have the experience whereby you want to hand over leadership to young people. Nobody's taking it.
Okay.
Because they are busy passing the buck. So yes, they're audacious. Where? I would like us to look at examples. Where have they shown this taking it by force kind of leadership? Or you want people to hand it down to you? No.
Ladi, what is your take on social media as regards to this generation? Are we making use of the social media space rightly or wrong? Because I feel like Gen Z has been the one that dominated that platform. All the social platform has been dominated mostly by the Gen Z. So do you think we are making use of it positively, or we are promoting the wrong things?
Well, everything must always have a good and bad side. So, but I can say, generally speaking, yeah, when social media came into play, when the exposure started, we keyed into it. We tried to see, okay, how can this work out for me? How can this work out for me? So from exploring, from learning, from understanding how social media worked, Gen Zs were able to key into the advantages of it when it comes to business-wise, when it comes to even music, even artists, they put their music out there through social media. And when it comes to even learning online too. But the bad side, the vice of it is that the long sessions on the internet, the long sessions on social media is what has promoted a lot of things. You see people going to sites they are not meant to go to. You see people meeting with people they are not meant to meet with online, that they are promoting what they are not meant to promote. I don't want to start saying a lot of things, but we know that those, I just feel the problem, it starts from the longevity. You know, you are spending too much time on this thing and it's affecting your workflow, it's affecting your own life. So there's no balance. So I feel Gen Zs don't balance social media from their normal life.
Their reality.
Yeah, from their reality. So they feel their life is on social media. So
okay, thank you so much. Please, Ma, do you have any take on it?
Yes. When you talk about the Gen Z, you can't take out social media. And you know, being a person of influence is actually being on the social media. So you find out that the Gen Z, for me, are not maximizing that space.
That's true.
When it comes to, you know, like I said about leadership, there is so much you can do for this country in terms of propagating good values and so on, that the Gen Zs are not leeching on, they are not doing. And because they are not doing it, that space is vacant for a lot of rubbish to come on. So I would still maintain that there is a lot that the Gen Zs can do, given their skills, to turn this country around.
Thank you so much. Coming to the end of this program, this was such a very interesting segment. For the first time, we have like an older generation who has been able to put us through. Indeed, I just got to realize that there's a whole lot of things we need to learn as Gen Zs. If we have our way, please, let's learn to live differently. And let's see how most of our choices affect this older generation. So we've created a lot of stereotypes, and that is why we have this program, to be able to change the narrative that we still have Gen Zs out there who are ready to live rightly, who are ready to follow the right path and make right choices. Do well to tune in next time. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Generation XYZ. Thank you.